Why an organization should spend more on network security compared to other?
Today, anything if you want to do, everything is interlinked. So network is a backbone for any organization.
And then you mentioned two different terms. One is DDoS and AI-based DDoS.
Yes.
How they are differentiated?
Earlier days, people used to look at a volumetric attack, which is primarily for layer 3 and layer 4. Application level, or you call it layer 7 attack, has gone up big time for most of the organization.
So one, in your career so far, what is the biggest attack you have seen from the DDoS perspective, from the number perspective?
It has gone multiple terabyte as well. So that means when you're selecting your service provider, you have to ensure that he has a good enough capacity to scrub those kind of traffic.
How that whole intelligence ecosystem work and the differentiation is getting done?
They'll always try to provide information which is relevant for them as a vertical. Plus, they'll give you very specific intelligence for that assets.
Someone where you are working in and they are using your intelligence fabric and the threat intelligence.
If I'm able to ingest that intelligence into my threat intelligence platform, it's a huge value for customer.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the GB show. Network is backbone of any digital business and it can't be just protected by the firewall. What we need is the intelligence. So yes, what intelligence-led security fabric is all about, what are the different network threats are there, and how organization can safeguard their network and their organization overall. That is the topic which we are going to talk today. And to have a discussion on this, I have with me Arvind Kumar. He is Global Cybersecurity Solution and Sales Leader with Tata Communication. Let's deep dive into the discussion. Hi Arvind, welcome to the GB show.
Thank you, Gaurav, for inviting me here.
So same here, pleasure is all ours. And to start with, Arvind, I know you have 2 decades of experience and all in cybersecurity and network. So I will like to understand from you, when you started your career 2 decades back and today, how you have seen network evolving and what kind of different network threats you have seen which are dangerous and gives jaw-dropping vibes to the organizations. Yeah.
So 2 decades back, when I look back, Gaurav, life was very simple. It's not that complex. People have probably the firewall is a new concept, early 2000.
Yeah.
People used to run the entire organization with the routing and switching. They have realized this, probably the virus, antivirus, Trojan horse, these things started coming. People started investing on a firewall. So remember those days when Checkpoint, Fortinet of the OEMs started deploying firewalls. Then things started evolving in cybersecurity domain. The threats have been started evolving. A lot of vulnerability started coming. Compliance is also coming. Even in those days, if you have your network 100 gig, 100 MB was huge. I remember early 2006 when I was doing a project for one of armed forces. Their ask was, can you set up a 10 gig network for one of the warship?
Okay.
It was very difficult task to do at that point in time. Now, when I look at today, if you look at any enterprises, they operate 10 gig as a bare minimum. Now they look at 40 gig, 100 gig has become standard. Even the threats also has gone up in multi-fold. Those days, there's no concept of DDoS. There's no concept of IP spoofing. There's no concept of BGP overflow.
Yeah.
Today, look at the complexity has gone up. So you can think of, you have all issues today in the environment.
So they are like, these attacks maybe a bit on more like, if I talk about DDoS, what is the variations and how much bigger these attacks are, and why an organization should worry? Because when we talk about cybersecurity, so people talk about IAM related data security. So network, what is the bigger role they play, and why an organization should spend more on network security compared to other?
So today's world is hyper connected world. Today, anything if you want to do, everything is interlinked. Today you're driving a car which is connected.
Exactly.
Imagine you're driving a car in highway and suddenly engine stops. It's only because of somebody has uh, done a huge DDoS attack on your service provider where your data is going and from where it is getting controlled. The risk has gone up multifold. So network as a is a backbone for any organization. Hence the entire business is runs on that backbone, and any disruption in the backbone is kind of is a huge business loss directly. Even if you look at a recent incident which has happened, whether AWS, Azure, you'll if you go and deep dive in those incident, probably in some incident you'll find that because of DDoS attack, entire networks were down. If you look at even very recent Operation Sindoor, has spiked DDoS attack almost multifold, and we have seen new pattern of AI-led DDoS attack
Okay.
within the organization where they don't look at a specific IP, they look at the entire organization, and they want to bring down the entire organization, not just only one application. So imagine the amount of disruption people want to do for any organization or for any nation. Today, for any nation, if you're able to bring down the telecom operators, imagine the kind of havoc it can have for the country.
Exactly. And you mentioned two different terms. One is DDoS and AI based DDoS.
Yes.
How they are differentiated, and another one you said IP based and organization based
Yes.
attacks. I will like to understand more on them.
Sure. So normally, if you look at a DDoS, you have typically three type of DDoS. So normally, earlier days, people used to look at a volumetric attack, which is primarily for layer 3 and layer 4, which is your all the big DDoS attack which is to come. Last probably 1 decade, people have realized this network, beyond network also there is application. If I am able to slow down the application, if I am able to choke even one application, can have a big havoc for the organization. So application level, or you call it layer 7 attack,
Yeah.
has gone up big time for most of the organization. So now we have very clearly defined two type of DDoS, which is network and application led.
Yes.
And organization I started investing on both the solutions. Let's say today, we are one of the leading DDoS provider where we have crossed 30 plus scrubbing center across the globe. The philosophy which we follow is scrub the issue at the source, not the destination. That means if in your organization DDoS is getting originated, let's say from country A, and you are in country B, we will not mitigate at the country B. We will look at the source and try to mitigate the risk at source itself, so that the latency in the traffic is not impacted.
Okay. So yeah, that is where my next was coming in, like, because DDoS. So one in your career so far, what is the biggest attack you have, seen from the DDoS perspective, from the number perspective? And if we are going to protect it, what an organization should look into from the best practices to protect from the DDoS perspective?
So if you look at the last 1 decade, you'll find us probably multiple instances where the attack has gone for terabyte, not GB.
No, not GBs.
It has gone multiple terabyte as well. So that means when you're selecting your service provider, you have to ensure that he has a good enough capacity to scrub those kind of traffic. And it is technically may not be possible for you to have on-premise DDoS setup for this kind of capacity. You may have organization bandwidth maybe few gig, 10 gig, 20 gig, 40 gig, 100 gig. You may not need more than that. But if your DDoS is coming with terabytes, there's no way you can build a capacity. That means you have to rely on a partner who can give you a capacity from their cloud scrubbing center.
Okay. So it means having a partner who has best scrubbing centers and the more bandwidth will be the option to go for.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
what all a CISO should look out for?
So CISO has obviously look out for the partner who has probably a presence in multiple countries. It brings the resiliency as well. Today, for example, if India, you have 2 or 3 scrubbing center, because of some reasons, those scrubbing centers are not working. That means you need to have some backup, so that at least the traffic they're getting is clean.
Okay.
So and also if you look at this entire market is also primarily into two different kind of service provider. You will find which is a telco, backbone based service provider. Second, you will find a cloud based service provider. Both are good, both have their own pros and cons, but both are equally good.
Okay. And for my audience specifically, I just want you to define these scrubbing centers. When we say, what does they actually do and what is meant by scrubbing center? Because I know few of my audience, for them it may be a new word today when they are listening to it. So what scrubbing center means?
Sure. So basically what it does, it look at the traffic, look at the pattern, and always try to find the anomaly.
Okay.
Anomaly within the network, and it clean that anomaly.
Okay. So that is meant by the scrubbing center, which
Yes.
majorly all the telcos have. And
Telcos has even a lot of cloud providers have today.
Okay.
Some of the prominent one has, not the hyperscaler, but native cloud DDoS provider have this kind of facility.
Okay, and that will help you to build more intelligence on the threat side as well, right? And coming to that, because that is the topic for today, where we want to understand more on how to build an intelligence in our networks and what is the definition or the term which we use, intelligence-based security fabric. What does that mean and what all it contains overall? I would like to understand more on that.
Sure. Intelligence in today's world is so earlier used to be a reactive approach. Today, people want predictive and want to contain issues as soon as possible. That can be only possible if you have a contractual information and intelligence. It's like you have a SIM, gives you alert, but now you have AI based SOC or Secure Operations Center. We can look at a contractual overall incident and even look at the intent why that issue is happening, why somebody is trying to do this.
Okay.
So intelligence is all depends on the contractual, what is relevant for your organization. Sometimes what happens is you get intelligence which is generic in nature, may not be relevant for you. Let's say if you got intelligence saying that there's some issue in OT and IoT infra, but if you are BFSI customer, how it is relevant for you? It is not. But meantime, if you got intelligence which gives you shift specific information, that is more meaningful for your organization.
Okay, and how this differentiation all happen? Because we have one geographically different location, as you're saying, the intelligence maybe something which is relevant for UK, Dubai, and may not be relevant for India. And then from the diverse business perspective, where you are talking about like something it's for bank, for not for OT, but how that whole intelligence ecosystem work and the differentiation is getting done. So what is the technology behind it? Of course AI, but what are the different mechanisms which are getting there? What are the different data sources which we need to get?
So normally you'll find multiple companies doing that at a large scale. In backend, what they use a threat intelligence platform where they get a threat intelligence feed and they apply a risk score. And when they try to probably provide this information to the specific company, for example, if you take a BFSI customer, they'll always try to provide information which is relevant for them as a vertical. Plus, if they get a asset information of that customer, they'll give you very specific intelligence for that assets. So it become very relevant for the customer to consume. It is not just the information.
Okay.
It is actionable information intelligence which you're getting to act on, because most of the CISOs today have enough information.
Yeah.
They need actionable intelligence to work on.
Okay. And any use case or example you have in this with, one of the customer or someone where you are working in and they are using your intelligence fabric and the threat intelligence, where you can say, okay, if you were not using this, but, intelligence based security fabric, the result would have been different and now this is different. Any use case, any numbers
Yes,
you'd like
no,
to share?
definitely I'll give you one of the use cases. Even let's go back to on DDoS. As a backbone service provider, today almost 30% world internet traffic routes through our backbone. Through our network,
30% you say?
30% world internet.
Okay.
So you can imagine the amount of information which we have, the malicious IP information which we can source, nobody can source more. So if I'm able to ingest that intelligence into my threat intelligence platform, it's a huge value for customer. So this kind of intelligence we are able to provide and differentiate ourselves from the market players.
Okay. Amazing. And what kind of AI and ML you are leveraging in your platforms today?
So again, ML is obviously we have been using this almost probably 5+ years in a big way. And in my opinion, ML has obviously evolved to AI in a big way. And today we're using generative AI and agentic AI both. And as a AI cloud provider, because we also provide AI cloud for our customers so that they can go and use our infra to develop their own use cases, their own applications to leverage AI. In our entire security fabric, we use in a big way, and I'll give you example. Even DDoS attack. So, carpet bombing attack is a new term which has kind of came in last 2 years back.
Okay.
This is again come from AI. So what it does is, for any organization, look at all possible IPs available in the entire side of IT network. It will go and bombard each and every IP. And this can be only possible through AI. It is not possible through a normal attack.
Okay.
Same way, if I look at even the threat intelligence platform, started using AI, agentic AI in a big way to ensure that we are not triggering the alerts. We're triggering behavior, looking at the pattern, looking at behavior, looking at the intent why that even incident is coming, alert is coming, and working on that is absolutely only possible through AI. It is not possible through manual analysis.
Fair enough. And this whole ecosystem which you have created, will it be helping the OT environment as well? Because we started the conversation, we were talking about IT and OT, and how if we are going to implement same for OT, how it will be differentiated.
So again, I think we spoke about contextualize information for assets. So that's how it differentiate. When you are trying to inject information, provide intelligence for asset, then we will provide information specific for those OT assets.
Okay.
So we will again like the way we source intelligence for IT, the same way we source information for OT system as well and IoT system as well.
Okay.
We process and then we contextualize specific to the OT assets, and then we push that information to customer environment.
Okay. But what are the different risks it carries, OT and IoT?
So in OT, in IIT, word is all about availability, CIA. But in OT, word is more on human life, because anything goes wrong in OT environment has a big impact on the people life.
Okay.
That's why then it become more critical.
Okay.
Though again, it is a very evolving stage at this moment, because in IT people have been spending last 20 years. In OT, investment has started last few years, because people also have realized the kind of attack which started coming, and you have seen multiple attack where even your entire grid was down. So imagine the kind of havoc it can have for the
Exactly.
country.
That is where it is coming in, because with OT, when we have this our critical infrastructure or relying on, we have seen attacks where blackouts happening in the organizations. It's impacting the different whole ecosystem chain, which is coming in. It's your aviation industry, or you're talking about manufacturing from the plant's perspective, and a lot of things which are specifically getting generated. So a network, of course, plays a bigger role over there. So how it has make your life easy when you are actually going to the organizations, CISOs or board of directors, and telling them, okay, this is the product you need now, and you have to specify the ROI as well. You need to give lot of metrics. So how you overall justify and give it as a package that if you go this will solve all your problems. This is what will be there, and this is how you will drive ROI out of it.
Yeah. So I think it's very difficult to probably give a solutions to anybody that will solve all of your problem.
No, but it making, because more attacks, that is what
Yes,
people say in cybersecurity. More the attacks, it's easy for you to sell.
yeah, but see, another day the objective is to ensure that the organization is resilient with cyber threats, cyber attack. Exactly. And every CISO is doing a risk balancing at this moment. Kind of budgets they have, against that budget, how much they can secure the organization. And probably their objective is to ensure that they are ahead of the adversaries, the attackers,
Yeah.
with the limited budgets. So, in fact, it is helping both the side, the vendor community as well as the organization who is getting affected both, because of incident happening across the globe. Even the board is also fully aware, and they are cognizant of the fact that if they don't invest in these area, they'll get also impacted. So, so the probably the investment cycle has become easy. Getting approvals, getting a budget has become easy compared to probably the 5 years if I compare.
Yeah.
And even if you look at statistics also, your overall IT spend was, if you're 100 rupees, 15 rupees has become for security now in BFSI. And if it is a manufacturing, if you look at, it has gone up almost 8 rupees, almost 8%.
Okay. Of the
If you look
IT
at a
spend.
5 years back, it was roughly 3-4%. Today it almost doubled in 5 years. Probably next 5 year down the line, I'm easily looking at this 15% for manufacturing, and for BFSI easily 20-25%.
Okay. So IT means that is a share cybersecurity is going
Exactly,
to
because
take.
security has become a business enabler. It is not a cost center. So, so I think all the CXOs are realizing the value, and in fact, for some of the organizations, security has become one of the selling point for their customers.
Yep. And with all these new tech, autonomous and 5G and a lot of those things which are already their network is more moving up, and with the cloud-based organizations, they all are digital in nature, and nothing else is there. But let's say if someone from my audience who's a uh, CISO of any startup or for a new business, and he wants to build intelligence in their system. So, what all advice or a framework you will like to suggest him? So, my whole audience is yours.
Sure. Uh, so first of all, for any startup, a new company, so you are very small, very nimble. You can move fast. So you have to ensure that your basics are right from day one. 90% organization today is struggling because of their hygiene. issues.
Okay.
Today, if you go and check the few governance point like patching, your guideline says that your 90% patch has to be applied within 15 days. But if you're going to ask any CISO, is this really happening? Answer
No.
is no. Why the ransomware is going up? Most of the ransomware is happening because the patches are not applied. The patches for Windows, patches for applications, patches for your network, your security systems, your endpoints. So my advice for all the startup is have a basic hygiene in place. That means you have to define what is the basic hygiene for you. If you are a 100 people company and you are BFSI company, look at a regulation which you have to comply with, look at the controls, and then you build a roadmap for the next 3 years. The year one, these are the risks which I have. For this risk, this is the control which I'm going to deploy. And then you go with the journey, because it is not a destination that today you go and invest the money, you are done. So you have to take a journey, start with the basics, hygiene, and then start adding a layer on top of this.
Okay.
And in fact, gone old days where defense in depth was a concept was very popular. Today is no more defense in, because it's not about layer approach. You may have a layer approach, but again you have to, all the layer has to work together in tandem. If one layer is not working, other layer is working, the information will not flow. When you have defense in depth, that means intelligence has to pass from one net layer to another layer. Then your security ROI will be out.
Okay. So can you give me more brief on that? Because defense in depth and security layer, that is a core concept I think most of the organizations are
Yes.
working in. And with your intelligence-based fabric, you are saying that all layers, intelligence should be all together. So how that work, and more on that, I will like to know.
So again, it's very simple. Your first layer of defense is DDoS. If there's a attack is coming on your DDoS layer, and it says that there's a malicious IP, that intelligence has to pass to your firewall. Firewall has to block that IP.
Yeah.
That information has to flow to your SIEM. SIEM has to move this to your SOAR. The SOAR can do remediation. That means entire loop has to close.
Okay.
If it is not correlated, information is not passed from one layer to another layer, then it becomes very reactive. That means incident has already happened, loss has been already happened. Now we're trying to rectify that. When the information is flowing from one layer to another layer, you're again moving from reactive to proactive approach.
Fair enough. And what do you see next as a big risk to the organizations? What is next?
So the risk is obviously is on the AI. Is domain is going to be a big way, which I see and it's going to come big way.
And how you and Tata Communication is getting yourself prepared for helping your customers with all these risks, and how you differentiate yourself from the other market players?
See, like any other service provider, we also investing a big time in AI for cybersecurity, and we have looked at two different approaches. One is look at the best of the breed technology available in the market, which we can leverage to service our customer. Second, we have formed our own internal core team who is doing our own development in AI domain. For example, we have invested technology for agentic AI for entire threat management. But we're not stopping there. We're building our own agentic AI as well.
Okay.
Because this technology, again, as I said, because of certain regulation, you need to select the technology which is probably within the geography, because regulation says that you can't share the data outside boundary. So data residency is very critical. Some of the agentic AI platforms which are available right now is global in nature. And if you're servicing customer who are from critical infrastructure or from BFSI or telco, there's no way you can share data outside country. So that means you need to have a platform which is within the country boundary and is still able to deliver the value which customer is looking at.
Okay, and with all this AI coming in threat intel and replacing users with the AI at least at the L1 level, what do you think by when all L1 will be taken care by AI itself, and where we are right now?
So I think we are in a journey. I think if you look at within our own operation, we have elevated L1 to L2 layer. It's almost 95%, 95%.
Yeah, that's good number.
That's a huge, probably cost saving. More than cost saving, I would say you are able to reduce your MTT and MTTR both, because mean time to detect and mean time to respond, because this is what matters to organization. Because board is not, they're not interested to look at your same dashboard. They're looking at, do I'm secure, are I'm getting the information at the right time for me to act on. So with this ML and AI coming in the picture, it is helping in a big way. So almost 90 to 95% incident, we are able to go back to our customer less than a minute. That means our MTTD has been less than a minute for 90 to 95% cases.
Oh, that's huge.
Yes, and with the automation coming in the picture, as of now, which is through SOAR platform, you're able to do 25% to 30% automated remediation. And now agentic AI come in the picture. That means as of now the decision is based on the use cases which has been pre-configured. But I think agentic AI is going to play a big role and big change the way SOC is getting operated. 24 months down the line, I can predict probably 50% remediation can be decided by the AI platform itself. Today, if there's an issue happening on one specific endpoint, and if it would have been a traditional way where you raise an incident to the EDR team, they'll go and isolate the endpoint. The entire cycle may take 1 or 2 or 3 years, 4 hours, depends on the organization. But in today's environment, you can do in few seconds. You look at the infection endpoints, moment you find is true positive, before it start propagating laterally to all the other endpoints, go and disconnect and isolate that entire endpoints. This is only possible through AI based automation.
And with this, because earlier the biggest concerns which most of the CISOs or the SOC teams are looking into is the false positives which they have. And with AI coming in and with the agentic AI, how long it will take to fine tune and ensure that we are getting the relevant information, and how you have seen that false positives are actually getting removed and taken care by AI. What is that percentage and overall?
So difficult to predict the percentage, but I can tell you the advantage it brings in the overall operation. The chaining of information is much easier with AI coming in the picture. What I mean by that is some incident which is starting from DDoS to firewall to your WAF and to your application. AI is helping in a big way to correlate all the information into single incident, a single alert to the SOC team to act on much faster. Rather than you getting a different alert for every assets versus one incident for all assets in single incident.
Okay.
So it is not no more alert based. It is all look at a behavior and give you analysis and tells you This is how the incident had or the alert started. These are the system it has affected, and this is what ideally you should do to remediate this. And with agentic AI, probably few months down the line, maybe few down the line, it may go and remediate as well.
So more intelligence coming in way, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, so that is I think the gist, guys. You must have already got how important it is to get intelligence built around your network, and that is what intelligence security fabric is all about. And for more, you can get in touch with Arvind to get more details on that. And I think Arvind, it was great insights, getting to know how those small components coming up together and helping the organization to safeguard their overall security posture, right? Thanks for joining us, and it's really amazing and how you have answered all my question. You deserve a goodie bag, definitely. So here it is for you.
Thank you, Gaurav, for inviting me here. It is,
And thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Sure. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Take care. I will see you next episode soon. Till then, take care. Be safe. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.